Chipped ham and football. That's what Pittsburgh does. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, I guess, depending on when we post this. I am Brian Batko from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, one of our Steelers beat writers. I'm going to be joined by one of our other Steelers beat writers today, Gerry Dulac, here on the show. So appreciate you joining us here on Tuesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. We'll see if Jerry's got any jokes for us. He's down at the owners' meetings for the NFL in West Palm Beach, Florida. So we'll pick his brain on everything he's heard down there, or little nuggets that he might have for us, because we know that's always the case when Gerry gets out there. So, well, it should be a fun conversation. As always, show's brought to you by Pella. No better place to get new windows and doors installed in your home than from Pella Windows and Doors of Pittsburgh. Call them now for your free consultation. That's 866-593-1560. to get started planning your new windows and doors installation with Pella Windows and Doors of Pittsburgh. Again, that number is 866-593-1560. They can help you save on energy costs year-round. Find the right product for your home and your budget. All right, on the other side, we'll just get right into it with Post-Gazette's Gerry Dulac. And there he is in a nice, peaceful, tranquil area. I mean, Gerry, I'm not going to say anything. It's 33 degrees here. I know you got the difficult assignment to go down to West Palm Beach, Florida for the NFL owners meetings. I'm sure it's been rough, cranking out all that content. Maybe somebody even put you out and asked you to play a round of golf or two while you've been down there.
Well, Brian, I didn't want to do this hit inside because I wanted to give you the full flavor. I did before we came on. I looked at the weather in Pittsburgh and I see it's 35. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to go outside and make him a little envious.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd probably want to be spending more time outside too. And we're preempting here your chat today on Tuesday. So I applaud you for taking the April Fool's Day chat from the Steelers fans at the Post-Gazette. I hope you're ready for some zany questions, to say the least.
Well, of course, I get those every week, but I'm going to give them a lot of April Fool's answers today. Probably a lot about Aaron Rodgers, coming here, meeting with Art Rooney or Mike Tomlin, signing his contract out by the ocean, photographers.
10-year extension.
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably really lay it on thick.
There you go. All jokes aside, you've been writing a ton while you've been down there. There's a lot been going on. Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan speaking, coaches from around the league, GMs from around the league all together. They're voting on rules change proposals as well. So what have we learned? What have we gleaned? Or no, let me put it this way, Gerry. What has stood out to you so far in the 2 days that you've been down there? Because we know that Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan make it their life's mission to not let us really learn anything when they open their mouth and start yapping down there about players. What has stood out to you from what they've said and what they've laid out?
Well, first off, Brian, I was taking an unofficial poll before Mike Tomlin met with us on Sunday afternoon as to what will be his response when he's asked about Aaron Rodgers. And my guess was going to be, he's a free agent and we don't discuss free agents. And basically, that's what he said. He acknowledged the meeting on the South Side, but any discussion of why Aaron Rodgers, what would he mean, how would he fit in, he didn't touch any of those. And then, of course, he was going to be deluged the next morning at the AFC Coaches Breakfast by the national media. He just meets with the Steeler media on Sunday. And people asked the same questions, and he gave them basically the same non-answers. So I thought that the sessions with him would be somewhat intriguing for that reason, but I did not think I was not surprised by his answers and how he handled it. So anything that he said or Omar Khan said in the past 2 days has not been anything revealing or earth-shaking. But we'll find out a little bit more about the rules today. Most of the discussion takes place yesterday. They'll kind of finalize everything this morning. We'll see where it goes. But a lot of what we get early on in the meetings is just a lot of discussion, some conversation with lots of different people if we choose. They have the AFC Coaches Breakfast Monday morning. They had the NFC Coaches Breakfast today. those keep getting shorter and shorter, Brian. It used to be an hour session. Then it became 45-minute session. Now it's just a half-hour session. And as he is wont to do, Mike Tomlin shows up fashionably late every year, purposefully, deliberately.
And it also looked like he was a little sweaty too. So I'm guessing that wasn't because he was nervous in his 18th year of doing this. It was probably more coming down from some sort of workout before he got there.
I don't know if how much that came through, but it reminded me of Albert Brooks in broadcast news. I don't know if that's before your time or not, but he had said that he had just come out of the shower, and yes, he was sweating quite a bit in a room where it was there were a lot of people. That's the other thing. The room keeps getting smaller and smaller too, and so you had 16 tables with coaches and people all around him, and we're kind of jammed in there. And yes, he was, but that was his excuse, and he was sweating just a pinch.
Well, answering Aaron Rodgers' questions can't get in the way of the morning workout, and then of course the post shower. The only thing that would have been worse than that is, I guess, if he would have showed up without the shower. So that wouldn't have been good either. So, all right, Gerry. Well, you've written a lot about the quarterback situation, the Rodgers stuff, the Mason Rudolph angle of it. Do you buy anything of when Tomlin says the draft is no deadline to get something done? Because I would think, having Rodgers there or not would probably play some factor in how early you start considering a guy. I don't know that they'd look at one in the first round, but I feel like that just has to be part of the equation, even if he says it is not.
Yeah, Brian, I tend to agree with you. I don't know how long. Let me back up real quickly. They have been told all along that he's going to take his time, and he is taking his time. It's not a negotiating ploy. It's not about money. The 1-year offer is on the table. I can't sit here and tell you what the amount is because I don't know for certain, but I can guess what it is. Probably somewhere in the $25 to $30 million range. But I just don't know how long they will continue to wait or that this thing is going to play out. So, but I don't know that it's going to affect their draft strategy for this reason, because if Aaron Rodgers does not sign, then one way or the other, they have to go get another veteran quarterback because they'll want two in their room. They always do. They want a backup who is starting capable and has NFL starts on his resume. So, whether that's a Joe Flacco type, whether that's a Carson Wentz or whoever else might be out there, they're going to add another veteran quarterback, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or somebody else. So it either be Aaron Rodgers, the starter, or somebody else coming in to be the backup for now to Mason Rudolph. So if they are intending to draft a quarterback, on the third round, maybe the fourth, then I don't know that that's going to alter their strategy because they know they're going to have two veteran quarterbacks on their roster one way or another, or certainly that is the plan. I think, Brian, they are all in on making the move for the quarterback in 2026. They know they have to stop this cycle of, a different starter every year, beginning the season with one. If it's Aaron Rodgers, then that's 5 years in a row. They will have a different starter for the season opener. So I think all the moves they are going to make, or whatever moves they are, a lot of comp picks they're going to get next year, 3rd and 4th round picks. Maybe they try and deal someone and get a 2nd round pick next year, another one. Now all of a sudden you package a 2nd round pick and maybe the 3rd or the 4th, and you move up in the 1st round, because we have to at least guess they're going to have to move up in the 1st round to get a quarterback. So if that's the case, then I think all their scheming and planning is geared toward 2026, finding that starter, because I don't think for the future, I don't think they think that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there for sure, Gerry. And obviously this plan with the comp picks, I mean, Omar Khan even acknowledged that himself on Monday. But how do you square that with, the move to go out and spend that kind of change on Aaron Rodgers, which I would think, I give the Steelers credit if they do that in some sense of, okay, Cam Heyward's not going to be here too much longer. TJ Watt's not going to be here forever. We got to try to, still push our chips in the middle and go for the gusto. But at the same, and you're signing a guy like Darius Slay on a 1-year deal, who this might very well be his last year in the NFL. Do you feel like they're just trying to kind of play both sides of the chessboard here of we're angling for the future, but if everything breaks right, we're still taking a crack at it in 2025?
Brian, I think the game plan, if you will, is the same as it was last year with Russell Wilson, and that's the immediacy of it all. Winning a playoff game, ending this 8-year drought, taking a step in the right direction. I don't think if they think they're serious contenders, well, then I think they're being delusional. But that's what this is all about. Getting it started on the right track. Finally winning a playoff game. We know all about that 8-year drought. 8 one-and-dones by Mike Tomlin. It's time to win a playoff game. And that's the way they're approaching it. And if Aaron Rodgers is going to help do that this year, then so be it. But anything that happens this year in terms of the quarterback, I don't see it being any type of solution or, for future years. I just think it's this year, and let's win a playoff game. And we'll go from there. We'll start again. But I think that's what it's all about. It's the same reason they brought in Russell Wilson last year.
Yeah, start get the ball rolling. I guess I shouldn't even mention the vague idea of a Lombardi trophy when TJ Watt hasn't even won one in the postseason. So, no doubt about that. The other, Tomlin quote I wanted to get your thoughts on and see if you buy this one too, Rodgers related, of course. The line of demarcation, as he put it, the start of training camp that he would want to know if he is in or he's out. I mean, does that make any sense could it really be realistic that, hey, I guess we'll get this signed in mid-July and he'll show up to Latrobe and the same day he meets a bunch of people, he'll also get ready to do the conditioning test and then go out there and throw to them the next day?
As long as they don't have him push the heavy cart at age 41. That's plausible. I don't think it's part of any a ploy on Aaron Rodgers' part to, miss OTAs of the spring. I just don't believe that at all. But I guess that's possible, that they think just like, you wait till the end of maybe training camp and you go, hey, we got a weakness. We better go out and sign somebody. I don't see Aaron Rodgers having any options, barring some team having an injury. Him having any options right now other than the Steelers or retirement. I don't buy the Vikings dalliance because why would the Vikings want to bring him in? They drafted J.J. McCarthy. He missed all of last year. It's why they moved on from Sam Darnold. They want him to be their quarterback, and why would Aaron Rodgers go there to be a backup? Because he won't. So I don't see that being in play at all. And so for right now, it's the Steelers, or you're gonna decide to not play. Yeah, maybe he figures, you know what, I'll wait around and see if somebody gets hurt, and in training camp or the preseason, and then maybe somebody's willing to bring him in. But I really don't think it's about money. And I say that because, and again, I can't speak for him, but the Steelers' offer is the offer. There's no negotiating. It's a 1-year deal. I don't know the exact amount, like I said, but I think, he knows what the money is. And I don't think any of this has to do with how much money he wants. So I don't know if by waiting to see if somebody gets injured and he thinks somebody will give him a ton of money, I don't think that's. I just don't think that's part of the scenario here at all.
Well, we'll finish up with this, Gerry. I mean, does it feel like all eyes are kind of on the Steelers down there? I mean, I know you mentioned there were a lot of people around Mike Tomlin at his table. Clearly, Aaron Rodgers is the biggest fish still left out there in NFL free agency. Does it feel like there's more attention being paid to our fair city and our fair team here this year at owners' meetings than years past?
Brian, it's amazing how much attention the Steelers receive from the national media. And just think to last year when they brought in Russell Wilson, traded for Justin Fields, bringing in Patrick Queen. The attention on them nationally, they were the biggest story of the offseason last year, and they are again this year because of Aaron Rodgers. So
you think about 2 years ago when Kenny Pickett was entering his second year of the starter, I imagine they were pretty low on the totem pole as far as people poking around and trying to see what they were up to. But on the flip side of that, you want people gawking at you because your car's going really fast on the highway, not because you wrecked it into a barrier and everybody wants to see what happened.
Yeah, there's no question. You saw If that with the Mike Tomlin press conference yesterday at the coaches' breakfast, yeah, he had the biggest crowd around him, and that was a big reason why, because of Aaron Rodgers, and it's Aaron Rodgers. Let's face it, and whether he's 41 and won only 5 games last year, he's still 4-time league MVP, and first ballot Hall of Famer, and here are the Steelers in discussions with him, the only team really left, it appears. And so, yeah, everybody wants to talk about it.
When you talk to people who cover the entire league, or even just beat writers you've come to know from other teams in other cities, I mean, do you feel like it has more of a positive connotation when they're looking at this potential union for the Steelers, or is it more of like, Gerry, can you believe this is happening? What are they doing? Why are they spinning their wheels like this?
A little of both, Brian. And I say that because with some of the other shows that I've done nationally, the theme seems to be this whole process is very un-Steeler-like, and so it's different from their consistent, steady kind of. I don't want to say family culture, but you know what I mean.
Like a pretty conservative, not take these
what
big
they
moves
represent.
and these big swings. Don't be the center of attention when the owners all meet in Florida.
And to me, if anybody is a non-fit for the Steelers, it's Aaron Rodgers. But this is Mike Tomlin's desire. He's the one who has the ball rolling. Obviously, if Art Rooney II didn't agree with it and didn't want him, he would say, no, we're not getting him. But he is obviously in agreement with Mike Tomlin, but he's the one who's advocating this. And we'll see where it leads. Let's just hope it doesn't drag on too much longer because, frankly, Brian, I'm a little tired of it after 3 weeks of it.
Yeah, it feels like it's been even more than 3 weeks between
yes, it does.
The questions from chatters, the emails, and just seeing people in person for sure. Radio hits, all of that good stuff. Podcasts. Any other nuggets you want to leave us with, Gerry? I know you wrote about Kenny Pickett returning to the AFC North. Has there been much scuttlebutt on Russell Wilson or Justin Fields with their new teams or anything like that?
I wanted to get over to I know Aaron Glenn really likes Justin Fields, and I know. They're excited about having him, even though I thought they overpaid for him. But hey, that's free agency. But I think it's going to be interesting, though, that if Kenny Pickett is the starter for the Browns, and right now that's what it appears to be, that they'll face Kenny Pickett. They're going to face Najee Harris when they play the Chargers in LA, and they're going to face the Jets with Justin Fields if he's their starter whenever that game is. So. It'd really be something if it was like 3 weeks in a row they faced each of those guys. Those were obviously key major contributors on their team. And, in Najee's case, maybe a bit of a lightning rod for that team. But I think that's going to be interesting as well.
And they're going to face the Packers, too, which will either be a run-of-the-mill game this season in terms of competition, or it'll be a massive one, not just for Pittsburgh and Green Bay, but for NFL fans worldwide to see Aaron Rodgers play his original team.
Yeah, exactly. And, Brian, I asked Peter O'Reilly, the NFL vice president for league events, about the Ireland game.
Yeah.
He said they will, release the date and the opponent around, if not before, the schedule release. But different things I have been told. It's going to be late September, but that's not official, though, and we'll have to wait probably, early May. We're looking at least another month before we find out who they're playing and when. Although I know what the travel packages are doing. They have September 28th targeted, and that's what I've been hearing now for 2 or 3 weeks. But until they're told.
I was going to say, I've gotten the same rumblings, and it makes sense, too, because the last time the Steelers went across the pond, it was the same situation. It was week 4 in London against Minnesota, and I would assume they would try to keep a lot of the same itinerary things kind of like that because they know it and they're familiar with it going that time of year.
Yeah, I think the one thing that will be different, though, Brian, is the Vikings were the home team in that instance, and they had to be over there on Tuesday. The Steelers are the home team here, and beyond that, it's the Ireland connection. They'll have all kinds of events planned because of the Rooney family, and I expect them to be over there really as early as possible, probably leaving Monday night Monday late day, if not even Tuesday morning. But it won't be a case of flying Thursday and basically getting there Friday. They'll be over there earlier in the week.
Which was a disaster for them last time. Cam Heyward was talking about that on his one of his podcasts recently. The guys were falling asleep that day in the meeting room, and practice was
right. And they
horrendous.
didn't have. Yeah, and some of the players complained about not having their legs. You can't fly overseas like that and fly Thursday and be there Friday and then play on Sunday and be sharp. And they got overwhelmed right from the start against the Vikings, who had been there basically all week.
Well, the other aspect of it all is it doesn't take a brain surgeon to look at the Steelers' home opponents for 2025 and think, the Green Bay Packers would make a lot of sense to take overseas in an international game. But those games typically kick off at, 9:30?
9:30 here, local, yeah,
right.
Eastern, 2:30 there, yes.
So I can't imagine the league would want to bury a potential Rodgers versus the Cheeseheads game that early, but who knows? There's a lot of moving parts to all that.
I think though too, the Packers played in Brazil last year.
They did, yeah, against the Eagles, week 1.
Right, and I don't expect them to be sending the Packers on another game like that. So that's why I don't know, but that's why I don't think it will be the Packers. And the other interesting thing too is the league tries to schedule the bye week for those games the following week, but the Steelers have the option to pass on it and say, no, we'll take it later. And when you think about it, Brian, they typically, their flights home are always 5 hours after kickoff. So if the game is at 2:30 Ireland time, that means 7:30 Ireland time, fingers crossed, they're in the air. Well, with the time difference and the 6-hour flight, they'll basically it's a wipe coming home. They'll basically get back in Pittsburgh around 8 p.m. Sunday night Eastern time. And then, they'll have Monday and even Tuesday to recover. Maybe the league gives them a Monday night game. My point is, I expect them to play the following week because it's too early in the year to take their bye week. So I don't think they're going to take their bye week after week 4.
Sure. Well, maybe they can just request the Browns instead of in lieu of the bye week or something like that. So.
Right.
All right, Gerry. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to it. Safe travels home, and try, hang in there. Keep your head up. I know with this difficult assignment down there in West Palm Beach.
I hope I didn't make you too jealous.
Nah, that's all right. It's going to warm up any day now, I'm sure.
Yeah, any day, any month now.
Yeah, any month now, exactly. All right, Gerry. We'll see you. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Thanks, Brian.
All right, there he goes, Gerry Dulac, Post-Gazette Steelers beat writer, along with myself and Ray Fittipaldo. He is getting to it at owners' meetings, and I guess he'll be heading back home shortly, but always got to keep an eye on what Gerry digs up when he's anywhere, but especially at a place like that. I believe Steelers team president Art Rooney II may also be making some comments later today as well. So keep it here on the Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel with all of our different shows, from Chipped Hammond Football here with me to the North Shore Drive with Chris Carter. We've got plenty of Pirates coverage popping off as well now with Noah Hiles. So thanks as always for finding our show. Quick message from Goldberg, Persky, and White before I go. If you were diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer, call those local attorneys at Goldberg, Persky, and White. For more than 40 years, their firm has represented thousands of lung cancer and mesothelioma victims. So call 1-800-COMPLEX or visit gpwlaw.com should you need a free consultation. I'm Brian Batko. It's been another episode. It's been a fun one. Thanks to Gerry for hopping on with us, and we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.